I can't believe I'm saying this, but I've actually really been enjoying Modern Warfare 3's multiplayer. I wanted to take plenty of time making this video and ensure I wasn't just riding on the high of a new release. This is the first time in the last 5 or so years of Call of Duty I actually feel myself wanting to play the game. To start out with the positives, this is easily the best launch map pool we've had in a long time, which is no surprise because they're just remasters from 2009's Modern Warfare 2, but it really highlights how boring and sometimes just straight up bad Call of Duty map design has become. Especially because from that golden era of Call of Duty in the 2000s and early 2010s, I actually think Modern Warfare 2 had a very mediocre collection of maps compared to games like Call of Duty 4 and Black Ops 1. Movement is finally in a decent place in my opinion. I still think the general flow of tac sprint and slide canceling feels really cheesy and silly, but it doesn't feel blatantly overpowered the way that it did prior to last year's game. Moving the tac sprint reset and nerfing bunny hopping especially made this feel like the perfect middle ground between Modern Warfare 2019 and the slower pace of Modern Warfare 2 2022. I know some people will miss the cracked out movement from Modern Warfare 2019, but personally I thought that was a little overkill. We have the return of some great legacy features like map voting, which is a godsend, and red dots on the minimap when firing unsuppressed. These two things combined with the classic maps really make Modern Warfare 3 feel like a great mixture of the old and new. There's also just a lot of other things that you would expect. Gunplay is good if you like the laser beam style of Call of Duty. We have the best variety of modes and experiences in any shooter on the market, and the zombies mode was surprisingly fun when I tried it with its influence from DMZ, though that might change with the most recent update reducing zombie spawns when extracting. And I don't know if I'm just imagining it, but as a mouse and keyboard player, I feel like I'm having a slightly more balanced experience against controller opponents. Aim assist does still mean that fights under 10 meters will almost always result in a controller player's victory, but I don't feel like the discrepancy between the two inputs is as big of a deal as it was in previous entries. Performance and general stability is also the best of any Call of Duty since 2019 at the time of launch. I haven't crashed once, frame rates are stable, and even my ping is significantly better than previous games. It's not all roses though, so let's get into the things that are really holding this game back. I don't want to spend too much time on the campaign. I'm sure you've heard about it by now, but it's the laziest joke of a campaign I've ever seen from the franchise. Modern Warfare 3 was obviously supposed to be a DLC for Modern Warfare 2. It was only pivoted into a full release in later stages, and there's no clearer indication of that than this campaign. It was clearly just a quick add-on, hastily repurposed into a more bloated experience to pass as a full release single-player component. I really don't like this sentiment that we should all accept that Call of Duty single player sucks and is not what you should be doing with the game. It doesn't have to be the best part, but it is part of the product. It's 1/3 of the major experiences you pay for, and it should feel like it's worth its price. And to me, Modern Warfare 3 doesn't even come close to that. I also don't want to spend too much time on matchmaking. It's oppressive, suffocating, and annoying. If I have one game where I have a KD within spitting distance of 2.0, then the next 3 games are going to be all wannabe CDL FaZe Clan cosplayers with fully built out meta guns, but I'm just sitting here trying to level a gun or two after work. There, the gunsmith and unlock systems are as convoluted and annoying as ever, which I assume is great from Activision's perspective. The overwhelming tedium and conflicting systems probably do wonders to keep players on the game and buying bundles, but from the player perspective, they rival the god-awful UI for some of the worst user experience I've ever seen in a video game. There are so many attachments that my eyes glaze over as I scroll through them all. I can't even name them anymore. On top of that, all the guns from both Modern Warfare 2 and Modern Warfare 3 can access attachments from both games, so new Modern Warfare 3 guns can use old Modern Warfare 2 attachments and vice versa, effectively doubling this bloated mess. To be fair, I understand the logic. The original Warzone had a problem that was impossible to balance when they integrated guns from 3 different games that only had access to attachments from their own games. But all 3 games also had completely different approaches to balancing and visually designing the attachments, so there was no way to create real parity. The new mosh pit of guns and attachments fixes this for Warzone 2, but it just makes building guns feel like a chore and will likely put off players who want something more straightforward. Unlocking all of these attachments continues the insanity system from the previous game, which is again one of my least favorite systems I've ever seen. Many attachments require using a specific gun and leveling it to a specific level to unlock an attachment, and doing so would unlock that attachment for all compatible weapons. This sounds cool in theory until you're forced to use some awful, clunky, laborious LMG to unlock a foregrip that you want on your favorite AR, but in order to use that LMG, you have to level your character up to a certain amount, then fully level up another related gun to unlock another related gun and level that up to a certain amount so that you can unlock the LMG, but you then have to level up to unlock the foregrip that you want. Just saying those couple of sentences was hellish. The actual gameplay experience is even worse. The Armory Challenge system is here to try to convince you to buy bundles. I mean, to help you unlock things in a less rigid, non-linear fashion. In my view, it's just another system that forces the player to play the game in a way that they don't want in order to progress, which makes the game less fun, which makes me not want to engage with these systems. I really wish we could just go back to the Black Ops 1 system of earning in-game currency as you played, that you then just spent on things you wanted to unlock. Simple, intuitive, non-linear. Or at the very least, just go back to the traditional Call of Duty way. You use a gun and unlock attachments through a certain amount of kills or headshots. The game's time to kill and time to die often feel really bizarre. The game with 150 HP compared to the 100 HP of the last game, but I still often feel like I die in 1 or 2 bullets, even though there's an indicator telling me I was shot 4 to 6 times. Part of this is likely Call of Duty's continued dedication to astonishingly bad tick rates and netcode, but Modern Warfare 3 also has larger headshot hitboxes than previous games, and oftentimes the limbs have the same damage multipliers as the torso. This just means from the player perspective, there just feels like a huge disconnect between the time to kill and the time to die. Now I know I just spent a long time roasting the game, and I use the word worse quite a few times, but there's still just something about it that I'm finding unusually fun. I don't know if it's the rush of nostalgia when I'm running around the old maps, maybe the fact that other games in my stable of FPS regulars are feeling stale, or maybe it's just that I can finally play games with my friends again who typically only play Call of Duty. But despite all the flaws with Modern Warfare 3, I have to admit that I'm enjoying myself even playing solo. Despite it being a laughable repackage of an update into a $70 full release, I'm still finding myself playing it and wanting to play it when I'm doing other things. Despite it being a thinly veiled machine designed to force me to buy bundles, it's a machine that isn't as irritating and oppressive as it was before. That does it for my thoughts on Modern Warfare 3. I'm really interested to hear from you. Have you played the game? What do you think of it? Let me know in the comments. I'd love to talk about it. That, for watching, leave a like or a dislike. I'll see you in the next video.